Have you ever felt like someone was looking for a fight, even when you weren't doing anything wrong? That's what it means to have a chip on your shoulder, to be easily offended or quick to take offense. Let me share a funny story about a time when someone misunderstood this idiom. My friend Tom was at a party, and he saw someone with a literal chip on their shoulder. He thought, wow, that person must be really angry about something, and went over to try and calm them down. Needless to say, it was a pretty awkward situation. So, what does to have a chip on your shoulder actually mean? It's an idiom that refers to a person who is aggressive or quick to take offense, often due to a real or imagined grievance. Let's see how this idiom can be used correctly. My coworker, Sarah, was passed over for a promotion. And she's been acting really defensive and confrontational ever since. It's clear she has a chip on her shoulder about the situation. I tried to talk to her about it, but she just got angry and stormed off. Here are some examples of how to use to have a chip on your shoulder in different contexts. Casual conversation. My brother has been really grumpy lately. I think he has a chip on his shoulder about not getting that job he applied for. Formal setting. The CEO's aggressive management style suggests that he has a chip on his shoulder, which could be hindering the company's progress. Negative context. The politician's defensive responses during the debate indicate that she has a chip on her shoulder and is unwilling to engage in constructive dialogue. Humorous context. When my friend spilled coffee on his shirt, he acted like the world was ending. I think he has a chip on his shoulder about his appearance. Literary context. The protagonist's constant need to prove himself stemmed from a chip on his shoulder, a result of his troubled upbringing. Business setting. The new employee's confrontational attitude during the team meeting suggests that he has a chip on his shoulder, which could create tension in the workplace. Social media usage. The blogger's passive-aggressive tweets about her competitors reveal that she has a chip on her shoulder and is insecure about her own success. To help you remember the meaning of to have a chip on your shoulder, think of a literal chip balanced on someone's shoulder. If they get bumped, they're likely to get angry and start a fight, just like someone with a metaphorical chip on their shoulder. Here are some fun facts about the idiom to have a chip on your shoulder. The commonly cited origin of this phrase is the 19th century, with the image of someone placing a wood chip on their shoulder and daring others to knock it off. Some believe the idiom might have evolved from other challenges or displays of aggression. This idiom reflects the cultural value of standing up for oneself and not backing down from a challenge, even if it's perceived rather than real. Over time, the usage of this idiom has evolved to also include a sense of defensiveness, even in the absence of a real grievance. Here are some similar and opposite idioms to have a chip on your shoulder. Similar idioms: to have a bee in your bonnet, to be preoccupied with a particular issue or grievance. To have an axe to grind, to have a personal reason for wanting to criticize or oppose something. To have a bone to pick, to have a complaint or grievance that one wants to discuss. Opposite idioms: to let bygones be bygones, to forgive and forget past grievances. To take the high road, to respond to a situation in a mature, dignified, and non-confrontational way. To be thick-skinned, to be not easily offended or upset by criticism or insults. Let's try using to have a chip on your shoulder in a sentence. Ever since my boss passed me over for the promotion, I've had a chip on my shoulder and been a bit more confrontational in meetings. Now, let's rephrase that without using the idiom. Ever since my boss passed me over for the promotion, I've been easily offended and quick to argue in meetings. You can see how the meaning changes slightly, but the core idea of being defensive and aggressive due to a perceived grievance remains the same. I remember a time when a colleague of mine used the idiom to have a chip on your shoulder perfectly in a conversation. We were discussing a new employee who had been very confrontational and defensive during team meetings. My colleague said, "It's clear that the new hire has a chip on their shoulder about something. They need to learn to let go of their grievances and focus on the task at hand." The use of the idiom really captured the essence of the situation and helped us understand the employee's behavior better. Here are some common mistakes and how to avoid them. When using the idiom to have a chip on your shoulder. Grammatical mistake, saying he has a chip on his shoulder instead of he has a chip on his/her shoulder. The idiom can be used for both genders. Misunderstanding, thinking the idiom refers to a literal chip of wood on someone's shoulder, rather than the figurative meaning of being defensive or aggressive. Inappropriate context, using the idiom in a situation where the person is not actually being defensive or confrontational, but is simply standing up for themselves or their beliefs. To avoid these mistakes, remember that the idiom is about a perceived grievance or defensiveness, not a literal physical chip. Also, be mindful of the context and ensure the person's behavior matches the meaning of the idiom. Let's test your understanding of the idiom to have a chip on your shoulder. 1. What is the meaning of the idiom to have a chip on your shoulder? A. To be easily offended or quick to take offense. B. To be carrying a heavy burden. C. To be proud and arrogant. D. To be carefree and relaxed. 2. Which of the following is a synonym for the idiom to have a chip on your shoulder? A. To let bygones be bygones. B. To have an axe to grind. C. To take the high road. D. To be thick-skinned. 3. Which of these expressions is the opposite of to have a chip on your shoulder? A. To have a bee in your bonnet. B. To have a bone to pick. C. To be on a high horse. D. To be down to earth. In this video, we've explored the meaning, origin, and usage of the idiom to have a chip on your shoulder. We've looked at common misunderstandings, provided relatable examples, and even had some fun with related sayings and cultural facts. Remember, understanding idioms like this can greatly improve your English communication skills and help you navigate everyday conversations more effectively. Now it's your turn. Try using the idiom to have a chip on your shoulder in a sentence and share it in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're incorporating this new piece of vocabulary into your English. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more idiom lessons to come.